what's up out there, YouTube? Double D here with Tournage du Bois. Welcome back. Today we have this piece of Claro walnut and we have another piece of red Mallee Burl. I want to see about doing some sort of a pedestal dish or something like that. So let's see what happens and get to it. So this piece is actually super wet, which I was not expecting, even though it was covered with wax. I was expecting it to be a little drier than this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some ingrain sealer on this. There's still wax on this end, but I'll ingrain seal that. Ingrain seal the whole thing. I'm going to throw it in the freezer kiln for a few days and see if we can dry it out a lot more. Temperature's running at about 112 degrees in there, so should dry out relatively quickly, but let's get that done. All right, so I have this mounted up on a glue block. I am a little bit nervous because I can't get a good spot for the tailstock because it's just off of that point. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of hollowing out. I don't want to do a Forstner bit because then what we run into is it catching on one specific side and throwing it. So I want to be really, really careful. I'm going to try and get a little bit of a spot hollowed out to where this can get in and grab. The downside is it's going to be a little while before it would be able to grab. So this is going to be interesting. See what we can do, but definitely wanting to be careful. Got to get this set up to where I can get a glue block on this side so I can get the bottom part done. At any rate, we're gonna see what happens, and if this doesn't like me, then we will figure out another idea. Well, it did not break the glue block off, so that's a good thing. I just had a little catch. Definitely just going to be super careful. I'm only turning about 500 RPM, so just be super duper careful. Hopefully, I might just try a Forstner bit just to see what's going to happen, because I'll be out of the way for that too. This point won't necessarily hurt to try. Well, that worked a lot better than I thought it would. I was really worried that it would have a catch and come flying off. The nice thing is with the Forstner bit is it keeps pressure on one side, and with the bit being the way it is, it's going to keep pretty decent pressure, I guess, all the way through. I think I can turn a glue block down that will fit in there that I can glue in and go from there. So let's get a glue block turned down that'll fit in there that I can utilize to get a good tenon on the other end. All right, so I'm doing this from the opposite side just to try and not be in the way with this, but I'm going to put the glue down in here and try to get some on the side too, and then I'm going to use the tailstock to pull this up and get it lined up together. So I'd rather do a little overkill with the glue than not have enough. Like I said, probably overkill, but better safe than sorry. All right, so we got that glued up on both ends. Since I can have the tailstock up and turn it, I am going to rough round this so we have just a little bit less of a headache to work with as we move forward with the piece. So we're going to get this rough rounded, and then we're going to have to wait probably a few days for the other piece to finish drying up, and then we will be back for the following process after that. So I am going to go over to the band, so I'm going to try and cut some of this off because I do want to save some of this. I don't want to turn it all away and waste it. So I'll be doing that at the bandsaw, but I will be back in shortly. Right, now we're going to use a Forstner bit. What we're going to do is we're going to turn this off, and we're going to turn a little bit of a mortise in there to join the two pieces together. Alright, so we have that turned down to where we need it for a good fit. So now we're going to use some glue. So we're going to use our Tight Bond glue. We're going to put it on the surface all over real good. Then we'll compression fit those together. And we will bring up the tailstock so that we get a nice tight fit. That way the glue will hold real well. Now I'm going to get out a nice paper towel for cleanup purposes. So I'll put that there. And I'll have another ready for wiping this off. So get our glue, get that put on, and then we'll get that spread around real good. I want to use plenty of glue because that's the most important part, is for that glue to hold. So we'll get that going. I know that a good amount of this will come off. Now we've got our piece. We'll just put that together to where that tenon goes right into the mortise. Twist this just a little bit. Let that glue really seat in. Then we'll tighten it back up. And we're going to leave that set. So as you can see here, we have a nice tight fit. That glue is squeezing out just a little bit. We'll just kind of clean that up. And then we will come back and get back to work on it. All right, it is the next day, so we are back. Gonna start getting this cleaned up, so I'll cut this rim back just a little bit. So yeah, we will get this hollowed out as much as we can with the tailstock up using the carbide, and then we will get the final inside shape done, and then we'll shape this pedestal. Now, I will not be doing a ton of talking during this because I now have a powered respirator. And I'll put a link to that respirator down below so you all can see what it is and take a look at it. But I figure that it's pretty important for me to keep my lungs safe. So taking that into account as we make things going on. So. All right, so we've got that hollowed out now, finished up. We're gonna sand the inside of this. Then we're gonna get this outside sanded too. And then we're going to shape the pedestal foot. All right, now we have that sanded up to 320 grit. So now we're going to hit it with our denatured alcohol, which will clean that grain up. We will see what it's going to look like when it's all done. And then we'll go from there. So then we will hit it with our 400 grit sandpaper and get it all finished up. So check this out. That is absolutely beautiful. Red Mallee does not disappoint. Like I said, we're going to hit that with our 400 grit in just a couple of minutes when that dries up. And then we will shape this pedestal portion, sand that up, and then we will part it off, get the bottom finished, and then we will put our finish on the piece. All right, so we obviously have a little bit of cracking in here, which I assumed we would probably see. So I think I'm going to do a brass key shavings inlay. So I'll get my dental picks out. We'll pick some of this, clean out some of this fuzz, so to speak. Get some of that loose stuff out. And then we will do some brass key shavings fillings in that. Okay, so this crack right here, I'm just going to use a little bit of CA glue. The rest of these I'm going to do a fill with the brass. I'm just going to pack that down in there. I want it pretty good and solid, as much as possible anyway. Starbond has inlays that they offer too. There is a link down below. I will be using the Starbond CA glue, of course. And you can get yourself a 15% discount on any Starbond purchase that you make by using that link or the coupon code DD15. Save you a little bit of money, get a good quality product, and that does help support the channel and the shop just a little bit with a little bit of commission. And we will be using our Starbond thin. All right, we're going to give that a couple of minutes to finish drying up and curing, and then we will get that turned. Alright, we got that up to 320 grit, so now we'll hit it with our denatured alcohol, get that clean. You'll get to see the outside of this piece, which is absolutely beautiful, just like the inside was. And then we'll hit it with our 400 grit once that dries here in just a minute. And then we will part it off and get the finish on. And for our finish, we're going to be using our Tung honey from our good friend Brad over at Brad's Workbench. Use a little bit of white Scotch Brite to put this on. Then we will leave this to soak for about 24 hours or so, give or take. We'll come back and check it, but it'll soak in pretty good. And it's going to look amazing. One of my favorite finishes ever right here. Just really brings out the color. And it's durable. It's a nice finish. You've all seen me use it many times before. So there is a link to his Etsy store down below if you want to give it a try. Well, I believe it is the #1 selling finish on Etsy. And I can certainly understand why that is the case. That Claro Walnut is just beautiful as well. I think it's a good contrast against this red Mallee. Let me know what you think down below in the comments though. Do you like it? Do you not like it? If you don't like it, what do you not like about it? Always open to critique and feedback. I'm going to use a brush for this portion. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that project where we took the piece of red Mallee Burl and glued it to the piece of Claro Walnut. So we have our finished product with the live edge Burl cap bowl on the pedestal. We have our brass inlay where we had the voids to fill in, and we got it laser engraved with our logo on the bottom. The coloring is beautiful. This wood is hard. I did use the carbide like you saw to hollow it just so that I could keep that tailstock up. Finished with Brad's Tung honey. I'm super happy with how this turned out. I really do like that sandpaper that my buddy Billy Burt had shown to me, and I'm going to put a link to his channel right up here if you haven't seen his channel, so go check him out. That sandpaper, like I said, does work really well, so I'm really happy with it, so I'll definitely be using that going forward. Hey, if this is your first time here, please do consider subscribing. Just click right down here on that little subscribe button. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. Either way, leave your comments, feedback down below. I read them all, and I appreciate them all, and they help me grow. We'll catch you all next time.